told me.
I wonder how long this ruse can be maintained.
The spells which have not been forbidden are the ones that bring happiness.
I hope that is so. Truly.
What's up, everybody? And today we're talking about the Witch Hat Atelier. So I actually heard about this anime from a coworker, and he was saying, "Oh, it's super good. You know, they've taken forever to do the anime. He doesn't know if they're gonna get a season 2 because apparently, like, the budget is like, budget." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna check it out." I heard him talk about it, and then suddenly on my TikTok, like, it kept popping up over and over of like people talking about it, and I was like, okay, let me just hop in. So as of this recording, there's only been 8 episodes. I watched all of them. I watched them dubbed. All right, so if you're a hater, it's too late. I already did it. If you haven't seen this anime, basically the idea is that there are regular people and there are witches. There is a certain way that they do magic, but it is forbidden. All right, and so basically some shenanigans happens with the main character Coco. And she is introduced into the world of witches. I can't say more without actually spoiling like the first episode. But basically that's what it is. And so we'll start off spoiler free. I am highly enjoying this show so far. I think other than the budget, because this is just absolutely, I was like, okay, cool. The animation's like, it's good. And then you see some parts and it's just like, oh, like there are other animes that I wish they could even have like a sliver of whatever they're doing here. And so, gorgeous. But I think aside from that, what I really like about this is like, so she's introduced to the world of magic, right? And it does have a big feeling to it. It's very like Harry Potter-esque in terms of like you're watching a character slowly be put into this new world. And what I really like about it though is even though parts of it feel so grand in terms of like the magic, it is so small. It is so intimate. It is just Coco and like 3 other girls so far on their adventure, kind of doing their thing. And it really is Coco learning magic. And it isn't like this grand, like, hyper beam, like going Super Saiyan. Oh, she secretly has like, the power of the angels or, so anime's always doing some BS. It really does feel small and intimate, and it is just a girl who was introduced to this world and kind of like learning the ropes. And, sometimes things have to be solved creatively instead of like this grand sweeping spell or whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. So there is a lot of time of just like getting to know these girls so far with this beautiful animation, just kind of figure out what's going on. Their master is like, the stereotypical white-haired, probably overpowered guy who's hot, right? And what I like about this is so far there's been no weird shit, all right? There's no pervy horniness that anime likes to insert in here. Anytime that I felt like, oh, we're gonna start doing some weird stuff, it is like, no. He's just like their, someone else would say good looking older brother who it's just there to teach them magic, right? So there are times where they're being hard on themselves or they're sad or whatever, and he's just like putting a hand on their shoulder and being like, you're being too tough on yourself. Hey, maybe you need to do this instead. Just being like a good teacher. And so if you enjoy like a heartwarming, smaller story, but does have like a bigger mystery going on so far, I highly recommend this anime. It is so good so far. Again, as of this recording, there's only 8 episodes. I think this said, according to the app I use, this season will be 13 episodes. So yeah, I would say give it a try. You pretty much know within the first 2 episodes whether you like it or not. Episode 1's clearly set up, but 2 is like, all right, cool. She's like into it now. Like, let's see what's going on. And again, this isn't like this huge, grand sweeping like thing. So if you're looking for a shonen like a Naruto, a My Hero, you know what I'm saying? This big right off the bat type thing, this is not. This ain't it. All right, so just know that before you get into it, right? But we're going to go into spoilers, so if you haven't seen this, go watch it, then come back. All right, I'm going to get into spoilers in 3, 2. I think the first time that the animation really hit me was probably episode 2, maybe it was 3. But when Coco is sent on the little trial to, was it the Dada Land or whatever it's called? And she has the flower, And there's a part where, you know, she puts the spell on her sail, ends up flying up, and you just see like the sun through the sky, and you see all the floating orbs, and she's just like, oh my god, I did it. And it's just like, holy ravioli, the budget is here. You know what I'm saying? Like, my god, it's gorgeous. Even when like you can see like the smoothness of the animation, or like when she's like looking, and it like really shows like the character's eyes, whoever's talking. It's just like, my god, it's so beautiful. But this is also like, my coworkers like, it took them so long to make this. Like, I don't know if they're gonna get a season 2. So for sure, I'm gonna have to keep track of like this one. Like, if it ends on a good note, episode 13, you gotta be like, do I have to hop into the manga, or you know, are we gonna get another season? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, this is gorgeous. What was it? Episode 5 or 6, when they're being chased by the dragon, and then I don't remember people's names yet. The teacher shows up, right, and he like does a spell, fucking clears out all of the clouds. The regular dragon's like, oh my god, like, I need an adult. And then it lands down and like makes a giant flower. It's just like, come on, dude, we're cooking here. And there's something about this guy, you know what I'm saying? There's something about this guy. There's something going on with him. He stole the old dude's memories. He's like really like intense. He's like determined to find out about the brim hats. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, you're scaring me here, but also you're kind of cool. So like, and I'm so glad that he's not like a perv or anything weird with the kids. He's just a good teacher. I like that the the little girls all have like their own defined like personalities. You know what I'm saying? You got Coco, who's like, I love magic, and you got the purple haired one who's just like kind of the you know, the stern one of the group of like, you guys don't get it. I'm serious. I'm trying to get out there and I'll do my thing. And, you know, you get the pink-haired one who's, like, very, like, bubbly. And the blue-haired one who's, like, very, like, yeah, that's what I think, everybody. And so, I like the dynamic of all of it. They just introduced the other guy who's, like, their overseer. And, you know, I like that he, you know, kind of seems like he's a jerk, but when he sees how much Coco loves magic, he's like, I'm gonna leave the door open. I kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? He dries off her clothes. The fact that he, you know, when the purple-haired girl is like trying to prove herself out in the field, he's like, remember, there's a point to magic. We're not just like doing spells and like doing cool shit. Like, we're here to like serve people. And so I was like, okay, that guy's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm liking everybody so far. I like that they all have their own niche, and that we're learning like slowly like what they're all trying to do. You know, she wants to make a little fluffy cloud that's like everyone could use for naps and stuff. And the other girl's like determined to like prove herself because, you know, whatever they set up, you know, her family, whatever, it was like, you suck. And so we haven't learned about the blue-haired girl, but I like that Coco is determined to like save her mom, but she's not overconfident. She isn't this shonen like, I got everything covered no matter what. Like, she constantly doubting herself. But she's like, all right, well, if I can't, like, if no one's going to teach me spells, I'm just going to look at what they're doing and, like, slowly learn, like, that way. And I love that it's a slow rollout of her learning magic. And sometimes it is unconventional, but it is, you know, her moving forward in a way. But it's not, again, this grand sweeping, you know, I have all the power. You know, even when she does, we don't see her do the rock breaking spell, but she says she does it. And then we see that, like, the whole valley is pretty much turned to sand because that secret brim hat is, you know, messing with her magic. It's like, I like that because she doesn't know it's there. It's different from when, you know, Naruto from like episode 1 is like, we got the fox in there, wink wink, you know, what's gonna happen? It's like, okay, well, you got a Hulk in you know what I'm saying? It's gonna come out and probably do some shenanigans. So you know, it's hard for me to care about your safety when you know, you got this overpowered thing in front of you. Whereas in this one, it's like she doesn't even know that she's being messed with, and we don't know the purpose of why she's being messed with in the first place. I also like that she's not the chosen one. She was just given a magic book, And she didn't even know it was real. Just because she just happened to learn, like, this is how you do magic. She was like, what if I tried it out? And it actually worked. And she was like, oh my God, I could do magic. You know what I'm saying? And and this is the part that I kept seeing people talk about on TikTok of like, oh, this isn't like you're a witch and you're born special and you're this magic person, blah, blah, blah. It is like, no, everyone used to do magic. And people suck because I don't know if you live in real life like I do, but people are just generally suck. And so it's like, okay, well, people started doing some fucked up spells and, you know, wars happened. And someone decided, like, or a group, whatever, was like, we need to take magic away from everyone because people are crazy. We gotta, like, make sure, like, hey, if you want to learn magic, you're here to learn magic and help people and do good things. And sure, you're gonna get some bad eggs, right? That's where we get the brim hats from. But for the most part, it is like magic is for, you know, everyone. Well, the good of everyone, we'll say. And so I was like, oh, cool. I like that. But again, I like that it is just the girls where, you know, you see like the magic town. We meet the magic shopper guy and stuff. We set up like, oh, there's the kid with the gray eyes. He can't see colors or something like that. I was like, okay, cool. But it doesn't feel like this huge... You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't gotten to, and this is where hopefully if it does get bigger, they'll kind of roll it out of like, you know, this isn't like, oh, we're in a town with everyone's doing magic and we got the Junin exams, but like for witches and blah, blah, blah. Like, this is, you know, this isn't Mashley. This is very like small. I'm having a good time. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But most importantly, let me know how you feel about Witch Hat Atelier. If you watched it in dub or sub. No spoilers, please, because I'm having a good time and I want to see how this season ends. Who is your favorite? How do we feel about Mr. Silverhair, who's like kind of crazy low-key, high-key? And yeah, just all of that. Another question, right, is you have to make a circle on something to do a spell. So if you have a spell, I always think creative stuff is cool. So let me know if you got a spell. But yeah, until next time, peace.